Hi, boys and girls. On Wednesday, it's April Fool's Day, one of my favorite holidays because I like to prank people. So I'm going to be reading April Fool's Mr. Todd. I'm going to read chapter 1 today on Monday, chapter 2 on Tuesday, and chapter 3 on Wednesday. Okay? Chapter 1 is called April Fish and Spaghetti Trees. Mr. Todd was the boss of Class 3T, as in WBT, World's Best Teacher. He wore wacky ties with penguins. He made up goofy songs on the guitar. Guinea pigs are not pigs. He liked treasure hunts for spelling words. The inchworm crayon was his favorite color because it was spring green. And he had the best sticker collection in all of Virginia Dare School. So far, what is the setting of this chapter? The classroom or the school? Virginia Dare School. Yes, good. Today, Mr. Todd was changing his bulletin board. Down with snowflakes, up with spring. Who knows what special days are coming up in April? Mr. Todd asked. Hands shot up. Do you know any special days that are coming up in April? Earth Day, Tax Day, Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, blah, blah, blah day, said Frank. The class got quiet. What? Said Frank. It's a real thing. April 17th, look it up. Mr. Todd checked his calendar and read out. Blah, blah, blah day is a day to get things done that you've put off. Blah, said Judy. Class 3T cracked up. I'm thinking of another special day, said Mr. Todd, that falls on the first of the month. My birthday, Judy squealed, but nobody heard her. They all were shouting, April Fool's Day! And what happens on April Fool's Day? Asked Mr. Todd. Funny stuff, pranks, jokes. That's right, Mr. Todd said. Has anybody ever heard of spaghetti trees? Spaghetti doesn't grow on trees, said Jessica. True. But one April Fool's Day, years ago, a news program in England reported that it was a good year for growing spaghetti. They even showed pictures of spaghetti, of the trees with spaghetti hanging from the branches. No way, that's cuckoo. For real? People believed the report. They called the TV station to find out where they could get spaghetti tree seeds. Everybody wanted one. Class 3T laughed their pants off. Nobody really knows how April Fool's Day started, though, said Mr. Todd, but it's been around for hundreds of years. In France and Italy, they call it April Fish Day. April Fish Day? Is that when you skip school to go fishing? No, said Mr. Todd. That's when you tape a picture of a fish onto somebody's back and see how long it takes them to figure it out. Rare, said Judy. In India, each spring they hold a festival called Holi. During Holi, people paint their faces bright colors to welcome spring. In Portugal, they throw flour on someone for an April Fool's joke. Iran may have the oldest joke ever. They go on picnics. They throw away all the green vegetables to keep away the bad luck. No more spinach? Frank said, pretending to toss it over his shoulder. In Scotland, they have Hunt, a cuckoo day. That's cuckoo, said Judy. On that day, you send somebody on a fool's errand. What's a fool's errand? Asked Frank. It's like a pretend trip or a wild goose chase. Say I sent you down to the 4th grade to deliver a message, but there was no real message. Jessica Finch raised her hand. Question? Asked Mr. Todd. Comment, said Jessica. My dad played an April Fool's joke on me. You know how I like pink and pigs? Well, while I was asleep, he took all the pink stuff out of my room and all the pigs too. When I woke up, my whole room was green and full of frogs. That's a good one, said Mr. Todd. Frank told about the time his sister drew an April Fool's mustache on him while he was sleeping, and Judy laughed about putting a fake ice cube with a dead fly in the middle of it in Stink's glass of water. Did you ever have an April Fool's joke played on you, Mr. Todd? Judy asked. Story time, chanted Class 3T. Mr. Todd glanced at the clock. We have time for one story before we leave for library class. Let's see. There was one time when I was a student teacher. Tell us! My sixth graders played a prank on me and they got me good. Did they put gummy worms in your apple? It was something worse than gummy worms, said Mr. Todd. Did they make you toothpaste Oreos? Somebody asked. Something worse, said Mr. Todd. Did they face their desk backwards? No, and nope. Ready for this? During recess, they phoned to have a bunch of pizzas delivered to our class. Class 3T let out a gasp. The pizza guy showed up with a stack of pizza boxes as tall as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I told him that it had to be a mistake. That's when the whole class yelled, April Fools! Well, what did you do, Mr. Todd? What could I do? I paid for the pizzas, and we had an April Fool's pizza party. Can we do that? Asked Frank. I think not, said Mr. Todd. But Mr. Todd's story gave Judy an idea, a best ever brainstorm. She, Judy Moody, would play an April Fool's joke on Mr. Todd. After all, they were learning about April Fool's Day. Thinking up a joke to play on Mr. Todd would be like homework, and pranking him on April Fool's Day would be extra credits. Okay, so April Fool's Day is on Wednesday. Be brainstorming about a April Fool's Day prank. So write it down on paper maybe, because I'm going to give you an assignment on April Fool's Day to write me what prank you played. I will see you tomorrow.